So I invented the harmonic egg, but it sounds hilarious to say that Gail Lynn, whoever this Gail Lynn character is, invented this harmonic egg because it's not my invention. It's something that's here for the planet. It's definitely a galactic device that came through me, and it just looks funny when I see my name on it. It was interesting because sometimes when you apply for a patent, it takes years and years and years and years and years to get approval. And I asked the eggs, I said, if you want a patent, then go ahead and take care of it. And they approved their patent in 2020. So it was very quick that they approved their patent. It was amazing to me. So the harmonic egg is a sacred geometric sound chamber using frequencies, sounds, lights, and it's a resonant chamber. So as you can see from the picture, it's a little bit open, but when you go in, you're actually enclosed. You're in a zero gravity chair, lean back with a parabola, and there's speakers on the side. So it's almost like you're enclosed in headphones. So you get a bit of a portal in there, and people have an amazing meditative experience, almost as if it's Shavasana at the end of yoga. If you know Shavasana, some people call it Shavasana on steroids. So we all know that God or source, whatever word you use, gives us these amazing bodies that can heal themselves naturally. So the egg isn't healing you, it's putting you into an environment by which we can reboot you and help your body to heal naturally. What has been reported is that when you put the nervous system into a state of balance or homeostasis, then the body can come back online like a matrix, like everything comes back online in a healthier way. So your body can utilize its innate ability to heal itself. It is a relaxation chamber and a meditation chamber, a manifestation, intention chamber, and your body's in this great environment of relaxation where it can heal itself naturally. People also report just a lot of different things where they're feeling like their higher self is coming closer to them because it can release trauma at a cellular level. We have a lot of baggage as we get older, and this baggage just piles up, and it kind of prevents us from being empowered, from being in our own personal power and manifesting. And so what it does, it kind of clears those layers so that you can find the space to invent, to be more intuitive, to be more empowered. It's so lovely. And again, I'm completely biased, but it really is. It's such a beautiful, beautiful device. So I followed a lot of Tesla mathematics. I'm an engineer, as you heard from the introduction, engineer in automotive. I ran an international consulting firm in telecom, and then I was executive producer of a Hollywood movie that went straight to DVD about the life of Elvis Presley. Yes, Elvis Presley. Sounds like Mickey Mouse, like whoever would know Elvis Presley. Well, I dated David Stanley, who was Elvis's stepbrother, and we did the story of the behind the scenes of what it was like to be on tour with Elvis. But seriously, after automotive, telecom, Hollywood, I literally was at 37 years old and on the verge of a heart attack. So I took all my backgrounds, engineering and such, and I designed this sacred geometric chamber. But I started out with a light box that was a rectangular in shaped box. So it was kind of, I would say, more masculine, where this is more feminine. But I always admired Tesla. And so I thought, Tesla has said, if you can unlock the mysteries of 3, 6, and 9, you can find all the answers to the universe. He says a lot of different things about the 3, 6s, and 9s. So it came to be that the outside of the harmonic egg is a dodecahedron. So it's the 12 sides, and you get 1 + 2 is the 3. The platform happens to be a hexagon. The hexagon came through to me that it had to be where the chair sat in the middle of a hexagon. And probably for the first year and a half, I didn't even know why it had to be a hexagon. My manufacturer said, "Oh, it'd just be easier if we just made a square or something, you know." And I said, "No, no, no. It has to be a hexagon, it has to be 6 sides." And it's funny because I have this clairsentience where it's just this knowing. I just know that I know that I know. Sometimes I don't know why I know. And so about a year and a half, maybe later, I was told that in the center of a hexagon is a portal. So there you go. So that was my 6. And then the 9 was the 360 of healing, the 360 of the egg. We use the golden mean ratio. And then there's a circle when you're laying back in the zero gravity chair. It almost looks like a eclipse. And so you're looking up at that. The top has light and the bottom has light. So we can set you to what you might want to work on. So you might come in and tell us you have allergies or insomnia. And what I've studied now for 12 years is what instruments will do what for the body, what colors will do what for the body. We use the chakras and the chakra colors from red to purple. But what I've noticed in the harmonic egg is, say, for the liver, we would use flute music and orange and color. And it's been really brilliant. People will tell me, I felt my liver, you know, I felt some movement in my liver or something when we would use flute music and orange light. So we feel like we've maybe unlocked some secrets to helping the body heal by using the 3, 6, and 9, the golden mean ratio, the sacred geometric power of the egg, which is the most powerful shape in the universe, as stated by Victor Schauberger. So I feel like it's a consistent and repeatable device. It is a lot of times we'll get a human being to work on us, and I love human touch, which I've missed during COVID so much. But sometimes you might pick up some of their energy if you're an empath or very sensitive. And I'm guilty of that. I would leave sometimes and have their fear or their anxiety and knowing that it's not mine, where this is a consistent and repeatable device where it doesn't have a bad day or it doesn't get divorced. And we've done some medical studies on it. Nothing that I could write a white paper on. We have doctors that we work with, doctors that use the egg, in studies here and there with heart rate variability, showing that we actually can, in fact, reboot the nervous system, bring the body back into balance, and it will actually detox the body. People will leave having smells. Yes, smells. So you might smell like mold or heavy metals. And I remember my mom was in and she smelled like mold, and my dad called her an oldie moldy. So, you know, it's just really kind of interesting when somebody comes out and you say, you know, this is what you smelled like, and they will be able to immediately tell you, yes, I've been exposed to mold. Yes, I've been exposed to heavy metals. Yes, I've been exposed to, one time a naturopathic doctor smelled like macaroni and cheese. So I said, you smell like mac and cheese. And she said, oh my gosh, I had mac and cheese with my granddaughter and I never eat that stuff. But the next day she off-gassed what her body didn't want of this macaroni and cheese. But it's much like homeopathic, where you just need microdosing, just a little bit of the light, a little bit of the sound, some vibrations. You're getting somewhat of a sonic massage. But if you detox, sometimes people think detoxing is throwing up and diarrhea. That's really too hard on the body. This is a gentle detox. It works with your natural healing ability. So if you do come out and you're very sick, you're either super toxic or maybe the sound was too loud. All the center owners, all the egg guardians are trained, most of them by me. Lately, I can't get out to train them all anymore because it's been so busy. But they're trained to not go over 90 decibels. When you listen to music too loud and it's over 90 decibels, you actually can damage your cells. So we do keep the music at a very calming, relaxing level. We can also throw you into fight or flight. And with everything we've been through in the last year and a half or so, we don't need any more fight or flight. We need to chill. We need to be present. We need to be stress-free, relaxed, tuning into our higher self and finding ways to put love out into the universe. Like Eric was saying, we need more love. So the whole intention with the harmonic egg is to put love into each of our eggs. So love heals all. And so we try to put that love into all of the eggs, and they're pretty cool. They're pretty amazing. So it's more than physical and emotional healing. It's spiritual, it's environmental, as you heard, with the smells. So we're trying to, remove all the trauma, and we have layers and layers and layers of trauma that affects our DNA. And also, our DNA can be damaged when we're depleted of minerals. So you want to be taking your electrolytes, especially all you light workers out there. You're constantly depleting your electrolytes with all the energy you're giving to help heal the planet, to help heal people. You guys are also loving and amazing, but you want to replenish your minerals because you need to take care of yourselves so that you can serve and send that love to the rest of the world. And we honor you all. So I'm telling you, just take some electrolytes and, do that stuff for your body to keep your cells and your DNA healthy. My latest research I'm working on is trying to figure out how to replenish minerals and vitamins using sound and light. So we're not ingesting minerals that maybe have fillers and maybe aren't healthy for us, and it's just taxing our liver and kidneys. So I'm trying to find ways to bring minerals and vitamins into the body using colors and sounds. So that's really been what I've been geeking out on. It's really fun. I'm kind of a nerd. So, you have this better connection to your higher self, to God, to source, whatever word you use. We're increasing the vibrations. We're raising the consciousness. Sometimes I'll get out of a session and I'll walk into a store, a kid's crying, and the kids all of a sudden stops crying and just starts staring at me. And sometimes I wonder, something hanging out, what's going on? And I think there's a rainbow colored energy. So I think everybody that uses the egg comes out and then spreads that love and spreads that energy and that higher vibration to, other people. I also feel like the egg's connecting somewhat to the grid of the planet and helping to heal Mother Gaia. And it's been just so amazing to watch. It's almost like my kids have grown up and they're going out into the world. It's really beautiful. People have gotten more creative, and their intuition is through the roof. I have most days I get an email from somebody that the egg changed their life. And so it's beautiful. One lady said that just going into the egg, she started to get these ideas of the podcast she needed to do. And quickly, within 3 months, her podcast went international just because that was her path. That was what she was supposed to be doing. Just such a beautiful thing. So it's made out of wood and it has a resonance. So between the paneled outside and the smooth inside, there's a hollow point. So you got that, you've got that resonance, those great acoustics. It's a softer wood. People will be in there and listening to the music. You may hear it from the top. You may hear it behind you, to the sides, spiraling around you. People feel like they levitate because the music is just that whom, whum, whum, and you can get into that meditative state. Really, really awesome stuff. And the biggest side effect is if you don't drink enough water, you can have a headache or get a little nausea because the toxins are releasing from the sonic massage, and you want to get those toxins out of your body. It's very simple. It's basically back to the basics. I think technology is one of the reasons that Atlantis fell. So I wanted to, and I may have been there myself, but I wanted to find something that was just basic, no Wi-Fi, no Bluetooth, none of the equipment utilizes that EMFs. But also with the sacred geometric form, we're changing the gravitational field. So we've actually done RF and EMF meters in the office, and we're not finding the EMFs to be very high when it's around the egg. The egg seems to be growing in power. I was actually just training the Denver Center this weekend, yesterday and today. And I feel like I got a session just sitting in the room with her. I had the same symptoms. My symptoms are, I get really thirsty. I want to drink just a ton of water to flush. And then I have crazy processing emotional trauma dreams whenever I do a session. So I get a lot of in the dream state, I'm healing. And so last night I had watched Bewitched and then went to bed. So she and I were running from the government. It was great. We left our husband behind. We're just like, we gotta go, we gotta go. So I get these crazy dreams whenever I do the egg sessions. Like I was saying, we have a lot of medical professionals come in. So this was just one registered nurse that came in and just absolutely loved it. So a lot of medical professionals will come in and do sessions and give us great feedback on what it's doing medically. Then for all of us spiritual, more woo-woo people, we have the GDV camera pre and post sessions. So you can see how the energy field is tightened up and how the DNA will react to the sound and the light. It's non-invasive, but we all know the body can heal itself. This is just a pre and post GDV different screenshot of how the chakras were out of balance, and so how the egg can restore the balance of the individual. And this one here recently, probably a lot of you guys know Thornton Streeter. He's with the Center for Biofield Sciences, and he has the biofield viewer. So he was just curious. He said, you know what, why don't you let me come in and do a pre and post session with a couple people, and let me see how this egg of yours might be working. So it was hilarious to watch him from down the hallway. He did the post sessions. He was looking at the screen. His eyes got as big as watermelons. He looked down the hallway at me and he's like, epic. And he's British. So epic, brilliant, transformative. He just thought it was so crazy. So now what he wants me to do is let him install a biofield viewer in the egg so that when somebody's in there, they can see the trauma releasing and maybe focus on where the trauma is so they can transmute it themselves during the session. Really beautiful stuff, really fun stuff. I love working with the engineers, the doctors, the creatives, the dreamers, the rebels, and trying to figure out, I just don't know if I want to put any EMF in there if we have to install a camera or whatever in there. So this was all probably 2 weekends ago we did this. Crazy stuff. So I have hired a sound engineer, a light engineer. We have a sophisticated sound system. It's a very, it's not like a vibrational bed where they just have the little transducers in the bed. It's a big subwoofer underneath the chair, and then very professional speakers on the side. So we can have that purity of the music and not MP3 files. So as most of you probably know, an MP3 file can be very cold and clinical. So it'd be like taking the sine wave and then cutting it off at the top and cutting it off at the bottom. So you're missing out on a lot of the integrity and intention of the musician's music when you're compressing it to make 1,000 songs fit on an iPod. So we use the .wav files or FLAC files, which are the very large files where only one song can fit on a whole CD. So that kind of gives you a sense of how large the files are, that you can get the full quality. When you're also using compressed music as an MP3, you're distorting the music for the nervous system, and it has to interpret that. So it makes it such a more pleasant experience when you're using the larger file sizes. So we can, like I was saying earlier, we can adjust both the light and the sound to meet your individual needs. Some people just come in, want to work on opening their heart chakra or having a spiritual experience. But we can also work on other things that we can't claim or mention anywhere. It's a 40 minutes of music, 10 minutes of complete silence. So I read a white paper by a medical doctor who had spoken about if you have a client that listens to relaxing music, 6.5 minutes of silence at the end will help them to integrate and hold the session longer. So it's a beautiful experience. If you do any kind of energy work like this, even chiropractic adjustments, you would do yourself well to sit or lie flat quietly for 10 or so minutes. It will actually help you to integrate it. It's helping the nervous system to kind of figure out what happened instead of just going out in traffic and getting in your car and going and going and going. Take that time to be in silence, to integrate, to let the body just come back online properly. These are just little fun pictures. Nostradamus actually had a capsule that was in the shape of an egg. It was metal, but that's where he used to have a desk and he would actually work in there. Probably a lot of you know Osho. He had an egg made out of coconut leaves. When he passed away, I think it was maybe 1994, they tried to lift it out of the property and it smashed into smithereens. But people would say that when they were in his egg and sitting and meditating, and then when they would leave and get on their bicycle, they could barely even ride their bicycle because they were just so spacey and just having to come back. After that energy of the egg, you have a consistent energy inside of an egg. And so it kind of takes you into that meditative state. This other one, it looks like an egg. I found this on a site in Russia, but it was all in Russian, so I couldn't read it. So if someone could bring together the spiritual forces of sound and light, it'd be a great modality for the future. And Edgar Cayce said this in, I want to say it's 1943. It was right before he passed away, in the book called Auras. And it was the only book that it was a little transcript, kind of a thin book that he wrote with his own hands. And when it was on its way to Thomas Sergou, I believe his name is, he passed away. So I feel like this is what we've been waiting for. We have some egg guardians. We'll be having a center in Thailand. We're international now. The center in Thailand is going to be owned and operated by a girl that works for the UN, who really acquired the egg to help with the human trafficking. And we all know that this is going on. Simon talks about it. We really need to help these kids and the adults that are coming out of this. I have a nurse who works in Michigan, and she said she's been seeing some of them come out, but they're all passing away from malnutrition. So it's very sad. I can't imagine what their life would be like if that's all they knew. So it's very sad. And maybe sometimes it would be easier if they passed away. So it's just, it's so heart-wrenching to even think about. I know I went through this fast. I was told I had 30 minutes and I want to be able to answer some questions for you guys. If you want to learn more, I wrote a book with 90 references to how sound works, how light works, science behind it, quoted doctors, and then we have some testimonials from DO, musicians who have, contributed or used the egg. All the musicians that play the music or are commissioned to play music for the egg have to have a high heart energy. They have to have a good vibration. If they have too much ego, the resonance of their music doesn't work in the egg. It actually just clashes and it doesn't spiral around. So we have some interviews on what they say about the egg, and then some client testimonials and a little bit about my story. To me, it's so boring, but people seem to like it. So this is how to contact us. If you guys have any questions, if I don't answer them after this or, during this call, because we are limited on time, this is how you can contact us and ask some questions. We recently just got back from the UK. We have 2 eggs that went in the UK and 1 in the Netherlands. That was our first international eggs, and it was so lovely to be around these egg guardians that are across the pond. So that's my presentation. Hopefully I shared something that will benefit you. You can also use sound and light at home. You can eat different colors of foods. You can wear different colors of clothes. You can get beautiful music and maybe get a lamp and some colored light bulbs. At the end of my book, there's lots and lots of pages of what each color of light will do and what each instrument will do. So I put that in the book because not everybody's going to have access to an egg. Not everybody's going to want to heal inside of a large wooden egg. And not everybody's going to have access to the finances to go do these sessions. So there's so much you can do at home. So I thank you guys all for listening. I appreciate you all. And I'll turn it back over to Pat to monitor or mediate the questions.